Hi, this is Laurie. A lot of people have been asking me for a video on how to make the 4-strand braid-in rectangular rugs, and this is how it looks. I'm going to show you how to start out on the rug, and you put 2 strands together with the hole. I've already cut the holes in them, so I'm going to put my finger through that hole to mark my spot. And then on this one I've already cut the holes, so I'm going to stick the blue through the red and yellow, which are together, and I'm going to put my finger through that hole to hold my spot. I'm going to take the end of the blue, go through, finesse it through, keep your strings kind of straight so it comes out looking like that. Can you see that? And I'm going to slowly go, pulling it tighter and tighter, keep the red and the yellow ones kind of straight. When it's almost there, take the blue, fold it over, and snug it up. Now I've got 3 strands attached together, and the way I do it, I just take a pin, put it through a little piece of the knot, and I have this brick. A friend of mine showed me how to do this. So hold my strips, I wrapped a piece of cloth around a brick. You just take your pin, attach it on there to the piece of cloth, and then you got a heavy brick to hold your braid. And then you just start braiding the 3-strand braid. Don't go very tight. I try to do it kind of loose, so when you go to start adding the next row in, it's not so tight. You keep braiding like this until you get the rug as wide as you would like to be across, not the lengthwise, the across. Now I've come to the end of my yellow here, and I want to add in, I've got the rug as wide as I want it to be, and now I'm going to add in the 4th strand. So here we have 1, 2, and 3, but we're going to end up with 4. So we got to have more of the yellow. I've got my hole in there already, and I'm going to add in black. I've already attached my pins to the bottom of all my strands, so there we got 2 together, yellow and black. I'm going to take it. I've already put a hole in this little yellow one here, and this is going to go in here very carefully. I'm going to put my scissor on to hold that down there. And then we've got to take these 2 and string them on in there. There goes the black one, and maybe the yellow. You just pull these through. One's always longer than the other, so just got to finesse it around. Black one's longer on this one, so you can see now it's going through there. I'm going to keep my black straight there. Just keep going through. Get this yellow kind of finessed around here. And there we go. Now it's going to go around. And there you go, snugged on there. So now, as you can see, we have 4 strands. So I'm going to finish this one up. Back that up. I'm going to finish up this strand here. Till I get to where the black is joining in. Now, we see where the black is joining in. This is where we're going to start our over, under, over. So I'm going to take the far right one, which is the red. It's going to go over the black, under the yellow, and over the blue. And then you're going to bring it around and put it right in the very first one under the yellow where you put your knot. And you've done the first stitch. Now we're going to be turning the corner here, so we're going to, black is number 1. It's going to go over, under blue, over red. And then we're going to put it through the very next one, which is the red one. This is kind of a delicate step right here. You got to hold it down while you're pulling it. There you go. And now we're well on our way. I'm going to take the very right one, which is now the yellow, over top of blue, over, under, over the black one. Take the end, slip it through, and we're going to be going through the blue one next. If I can get it. There we go. I've gotten to here. I'm going to finish over, under, over to the end of here, and then I'll show you how to go around the corner and turn it over. So over, under, over. I go up through the bottom. I have two friends that I taught to do how to do this, and they go down from the top. All the rugs come out looking different, so you can go from the top or from the bottom. I like going from the bottom because it makes a nice texture on the rug when you flip it. So I'm just going to keep going here. Now I can tell that this is not the place where I want to end and turn it because I'm not even with this other side here. I'm still one stitch down, so I got to do another one. I'm going to go through black, and I do believe that I'll be even with this, keep my edges straight. See that? Now when you pull it a little bit, it's even with this one. It doesn't go out any further, so that's how you can tell. Now you need to put one more stitch in that same hole before you flip your rug. Okay, put one more through the black. And normally here, for this rug, I would change all 4 of my colors. But for the demonstration purposes, I'm going to leave these same ones on so you don't have to watch me change colors. Back up a little bit. Okay, here we go. We're going to switch. I usually take the right side of the rug, or the left side of the rug, grab in my hand, give it a flip. Now, you've got your 4 strands right here, ready to go. Start with white, of course. Always the outside one. Over, under, over. Keep it snugged up. Now I'm going to go right back in the very first one. And I always take it and snug it up a little bit so that your edges stay straight. I've been told I have quite spectacular edges, and we want to keep it that way. So, starting in, outside one, over, under, over, and I go up through the bottom of the next one, which is going to be the purple one. Now, with these rugs, you see, that's how that goes. Normally, like I said, I would have changed colors, but for demonstration purposes, over, under, over, up from the bottom, get down to the other end of the row, same thing. You might have to take a few rows out once in a while till you get the hang of getting the edges straight, but we'll come back with video number 7 when I'm ready to finish off the rug and show you how I do that. I was just trying to think of some tips to tell you while I was finishing this up. Try to get your t-shirts, the weight of the materials to be kind of equal, and also make sure your strips are cut to pretty much the same width, depending on how big or how chunky you want, your rug. But this rug is pretty tightly woven, so it takes a lot of material. You can see my pile of strings that I have to choose from. I'm about to finish this one up so I can show you how I end it over here, but I'm going to go a few more of these. And as you can see, these kinds of rugs, I kind of call them hobo rugs, and this kind uses up a lot of scrap strips that you have left over from making other rugs. I have made them where there were strips and blocks of color. I have a hard time making rugs like that anymore with this method because you need a lot of the same. I've done rugs where I used 2 strips, kept 2 of the strips the same color all the way through. That gives it a different look. I've done them where I just keep one of the strands gray all the way through or a certain color, and that looks good too. It's just however you like to do it. I just started making these a couple months ago, so I really need to get my creative juices flowing and figure out how to do different patterns on them. I'm not that mathematical, so it's kind of hard for me to figure out like how many rows in and how many out to do the different colors. So, plus I never know when I'm going to run out of material. So yeah, I'm about to finish this one up right here. When I get to the end, I'm going to weave the strings in and show you how to stop it. I might have to tie one more yellow onto here. I hope I won't, but I think I may have to. Okay, I got a little more yellow put on there, and I may have to put a little more tan on as well. All right, I'm gonna hook my pin on here so I can finish this rug off. Now, see, we still got our 4 here, and I'm gonna take this one up and around here just so I get a more square edge on this one. I'm gonna stick it right back in the same one. Now, you can see I'm snugging it up to kind of keep my edge straight there. Now, I usually take these two and make a knot in them, just like that, snug it down quite a bit, and then you can take your pin off for a minute, find about how much you'd like to weave in there, and cut it off, and then just start weaving it underneath the other colors to just try to get it.
You cut it to about 4 or 5 inches.
Yeah, about 4 or 5 inches long, and then just start weaving it in there. Really, once the rug is done, you can't tell really, so I don't know where to go next, but you just find a spot and go. And then when you're done, then just tuck it in. I gotta get this under here. Ooh, it's a tight one. There. Now I'll get my pin out and snug it under there, you see? And it's disappeared. Now I'm gonna take the other one. This one you have to go up through the bottom. Just inside here somewhere. Get it to go up through so you can snug the knot down a little better. I'm gonna go over top and go up here more so I have room for these lower two to weave through down here. I've learned don't take these top two and start weaving down there, because that doesn't work. Then you don't got nowhere to put your upper ones, or your lower ones if you got them used up by this. Okay, and that's about as much as I need of that one. And that's all snugged in there. And then I take these two and make a knot as well. Get kind of snugged down. And this one, of course, I don't want to try to weave that much in there, so I'm gonna cut it and move my pin down a little bit, and then I'm gonna weave it in there, and then we'll do the last one and we'll be done. I would love to have your comments on the rugs, if you've tried them, if it worked for you. I've only been doing the rectangle method for a couple, 3-4 months now, just because I used to do the ovals all the time and with the round ones, and once I washed them I couldn't get them to lay flat again, and it frustrated me, so I gave up on the round and the oval ones. I'm going to cut a little off of here too, so I don't have so much to weave. And this one we're going to go through the bottom again, because it's the bottom outside one. Kind of snug it up and then start weaving it in there, same as you did the others. And really, I forgot to tell at the beginning on video number 1, the equipment that you need to make these rugs. You need about 5 safety pins, kind of the larger ones, and a scissors, and a bunch of shirts. You need to have a lot of strips cut. Like I said, it takes a lot of material to make these ones. I'm not sure
Quite a lot.
why it takes a lot more. I guess because it's woven so tightly. I'm not quite sure, but it does take a very lot of material. I'm having trouble getting this last one stuck in there. It keeps poking out, so.
And there it is.
We're gonna, yeah, and there it is, poked right out there. There. I'll tuck it under there. And now if Paris will stand back a little bit. There's the finished rug. All done.
Excuse me.
The edges are pretty well straight. Didn't get too much narrower or too much wider. I'll turn it over and you can see the other side. The 4-strand really gives you a nice texture on the rugs. I've tried them with 5 strands, 6, 7, and 8, and none of them gave me the texture that I'm in love with, like this one. So Go ahead and try how many ever you want, and thank you for watching my videos. Bye.